last week, they were completely rammed. They were filled up to the gunnels, they were queuing down the street. They said, you should have been here last week. I swear, you should have been here last week. Oh yeah, you should have been here last week.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of You Should Have Been Here Last Week, the podcast hosted by myself, Steve Gribbin, and fellow comedian Paul Ricketts.
By heck, look what the cat drags in.
That's right. You Should Have Been Here Last Week is the podcast that looks at all aspects of the comedy industry as we take an indiscreet peek behind the glittery curtains to reveal the movers and the shakers, the myth makers, the piss takers, and the taboo breakers that go to make up this biz that we call show. And today's very special guest is stand-up comedian, podcaster, writer, actor, radio host, presenter, and comedy panellist, the wonderful Jessica Fostekew. Welcome to the show, Jess.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. We always start off with this. How did you first get started in comedy?
Really bad way, actually. Like, as in comedians don't like my answer to this. But I was acting. I was doing bits of acting as a hobby and I loved it. And then I wrote some sketches for like an open entry BBC competition thing and submitted them to a bunch of things. Somebody put some of them on, like in a crap Amdram way. And I went and watched that. Just chuffed they picked them. And there was also some, I now know, really bad short form improv on. And I thought, because I'm from the countryside and I hadn't really seen any live comedy, I just went, whoa, that's blown my mind. Can I have a go? And they said, yeah. And I ended up in an improv group with, well, a really bad improv group called Mixed Nuts with like with no vowels and a Z on the end of nuts.
No, I remember them. I remember them.
And do you remember them? And it was the whole point, they were called Mixed Nuts, which is so on the nose. It's like it was meant to be like an ethnically diverse group, but it sort of wasn't. It wasn't enough to be called Mixed Nuts. I think it had 2 brown people in it, in the whole thing. But there were some incredible... I met some people. I met Carrie Lloyd doing that. And then we basically ended up doing a spin-off longer form improv group with Gemma Whelan and Sarah Pascoe and Paul Foxcroft. And Pascoe started doing stand-up and she made it look quite fun. And I thought, oh, maybe I have a go, because I just thought I might get noticed for more acting work if I do that. I might get an agent for acting. So I did the thing. When I started comedy, people hated actors doing stand-up. And that was me. But then I fell in love with I think I should stop telling people.
No, you told people at the beginning. That's what I couldn't believe. First time I met you, that's exactly what you said.
Do you remember your first ever proper stand-up gig, though? And more to the point, who else was on the bill with you? Because it's always fascinating to...
What do you mean by proper? I mean, no one gave me any money. Gig? Yeah. It was in a like basement venue opposite Carnaby Street, like at the Oxford Circus end. And we had 2 minutes each, and it was like a weird little competition. And Sarah Pascoe was on, and Helen Arney was on, and Joe Ball was hosting, and Julia Chamberlain was judging.
Wow.
Good grief. Well remembered.
And I remember some of Pascoe's jokes.
That is incredible. You only got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, that was plenty for me, to be fair. Felt like 4 hours.
I mean, you said, though, as well, that you actually fell in love with it. Because we've spoken to a lot of comedians on here, and it's that thing of when even though a lot of people have terrible first gigs or, terrible run of first gigs, it's like something that digs into you and it won't let go. I mean, is that how it feels for you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I did. I also the first few weren't terrible, actually. So I think that really, but I think, if I went back and did those gigs now and experienced those gigs now, I'd see them as terrible. But actually the fact that anyone laughed at all, and the fact that I didn't, it didn't really come crashing down. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was no one left.
Yeah.
No one heckled. I didn't shit my pants. Like, at the time, that was like 10 out of 10 gig. Do you know what I mean? And I remember finding it really interesting about 6 months in, suddenly realising I'd put the bar up a bit for myself. And actually, that's been something that's gone on and on for 18 years now. Like, what counts as a good gig, the bar just goes higher and higher and higher. And that's actually getting to the point where it's quite unhelpful. Where does it end? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of flipping perfectionistic god-level gig that you need to have.
Nobody stood on their seats and carried me around the venue. Boo,
exactly. I think that's the reason why, you stay in the game too long. You end up being like, well, I haven't got my own crypto. I'm a failure. Mad.
Yeah.
Crikey. I've never had an encore.
I've never had an encore.
I feel like that's not really our generation of comedy, is it? To be like, they want more of me, darling. I'm going back on.
Well, I think the very fact that Steve is incredibly silent. Yes, I was expecting him to say that now. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I had one.
I
think it's different if you do music.
Yeah, cheating is cheating.
You can do another song. Well, it's not cheating, but like, you've got another song. Do you know what I mean? If you've already done your closing joke in a set that you've crafted, unless you've secretly, it isn't the end. For me, I'm going to go on and do a weaker joke. It's not. No one wants that, including me.
Here's one that wasn't good enough to be in the show.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a work in progress. I want to leave you on a fizzle. Question mark.
I mean, who are your sort of heroes, stroke icons of comedy? I mean, what did you like when you were growing up watching stuff on the TV, and who made you think, oh, I love them, I'd like to be involved in that?
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't I didn't see any stand-up as a child at all. Unless you count Tommy Cooper, was probably my youngest. I loved watching, I used to do impressions of Tommy Cooper when I was a kid. And then it was this generation. It was the Dawn French, Rick Mail. Yeah. It started with Blackadder. Yeah. It was Bottom, stuff like that. I have still got quite a naughty dad, so he showed me lots of quite rude, that kind of like poo-poo wee-wee rude. Drop Dead Fred was my favourite film, watched it every day for a year when I was 10. But I suppose actually those things he also let me stay up and watch things like the Mary Whitehouse Experience. We loved that. Fast Show. So what I'm saying basically is sitcom and sketch were my in. Yeah. And I loved Dawn French and I loved Joe Brand, but I think I was already, and Kathy Burke and Harry Enfield. It's that was my childhood and teens, and I was so into those things. But I really didn't have any exposure to stand-up particularly. I remember I've got a vague recollection of enjoying a bit of Lee Evans as a kid on telly. But that was it really. And then when I got to uni, it kind of it became a bit more, I suppose, a bit more grown up, a bit more cynical. I loved League of Gentlemen, and then I fell in love with Day to Day and Brass Eye and all the Chris Morris stuff. And I saw one stand-up gig in Freshers Week. Can't remember the guy's name, but I howled with laughter. I'd never seen any stand-up. And I look back now and I think he was doing all kind of one-liners he hadn't written. It was all like quite paint by numbers one-liners, but I was like, genius. I was 18, I was like, whoa, but it didn't make me want to do it. Yeah, so no, those, I would say those are my most formative influences, and especially Dawn French and Rick Mail. And I think I even probably took on quite a bit of Rick Mail's physicality when I was on stage in various ways as a kid.
I'm going to say that because there's a real, having worked and watched you loads of times, there's a streak of silliness in you as well, which comes from that, I think, from Dawn French, and it's quite rare in a lot of comedians that it's quite brave to be silly because people don't. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I do understand, and I think it's really interesting. I think when I was starting out, I think as a woman, it was interesting because you got told these two conflicting things. Actually, you basically got told, "Don't look too good looking because you'll upset the men," which is like, or the men's wives. Like, what the hell? Like what? I don't think I was ever in danger of someone being able to not concentrate. Do you know what I mean? Through the bloody painful level of boner, for Christ's sake. But there was this real message of like, don't dress up. It was such a unhelpful no thank you to that advice. But also you were told, be confident, hold yourself tall, effectively. I don't know, you were basically told, don't be too ugly but don't be too fit, as if that's something you should ever be worrying about on stage. And I think the don't be too ugly thing was just as unhelpful, because for me, actually being able to be relatively grotesque in your characterization on stage. Also, I was told, Paul, and I remember, and this was shit advice for me, but I remember Peter at the King's
Head.
He said to me, you got to choose acting or stand-up. You cannot let people know that you're an actor when you're on stage. They don't want to know that. And I think he's misunderstood what comedians don't want to know for what audiences don't want to know. So I did, I really listened, and I was like, right, and I was like, don't do characters as part of your stand-up then. And, really just learn that kind of straight down the line, eyeball to eyeball, just jokes in a row. And actually, I think it's not it's specifically his fault, but me taking that so seriously and literally probably held me back from finding my voice for way longer than if I'd actually just leaned into it. Because now I love setting a scene, and it's not acting, but at least embodying the voice and maybe occasionally the face of someone in a story I'm telling is actually very useful to me as a stand-up.
I think it's very useful if you've got that skill as a stand-up. You'd be an idiot not to use it. Sounds like...
I was an idiot and didn't use it, I think, for roughly 7 to 8 years.
Oh, no.
I really listened.
You just had a really lovely voice, I always thought. You had
kind.
Well, yeah, especially because you used to do... Was it traffic or weather?
Traffic. Yeah, that was such a mad, boring job. I got a written warning in the end because I got so bored doing that job that once I saw how many cherry tomatoes I could put in my mouth and still do the bulletin for LBC without them noticing. And I got 9 in and no one knew, but like an idiot, I put it on the what was probably Twitter or whatever the first social media was. I bragged. Ooh. And my boss saw.
Oh, no.
That's not great. What an idiot. What a plonker.
Anyway, Paul, have you got a question?
Yes. I'll just wait for you to tell me.
I thought you were going to go no.
No, I'd love to say no, but unfortunately, it's a podcast. I have to say yes. Yeah, because I think there's a turning point in your career, and I think it's when you left Penge. I think that's... Because I've now moved to Penge. I've now moved to Penge. And I feel like
lovely now.
I know, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, apart from people in Beckenham don't think so. No, they really don't.
Oh, Beckenham can kiss it. Penge is lovely.
That's
now.
what I say to people in Beckenham as I walk to Penge to get my cheaper shopping. And this is a really self-indulgent South East London conversation that we're having.
Well, we're all local. Why not?
Yes, yeah.
So
brilliant.
But did you feel like things did change once Penge left your life?
I don't know actually if that felt like I'm not sure that felt like a tangible turning point. I'll be honest. I've lived all over South East London, and none of it feels that much snazzier than the other bits. When we moved from Catford to Hither Green, my son was about, I can't remember, he was little, even littler, and he said, "It's interesting, isn't it? Because where we've moved to now, it's way less sick on the floor." And I was like, so maybe that was the turning point. That feels like a turning point in your career when you can afford to live somewhere with a bit less sick on the floor.
Yeah, that should be used as a government indication of how good areas are.
Yeah, for estate agents.
Fluid ounces of sick on the floor.
Yeah, fluid ounces of sick on the floor. Estate agents should have to declare it.
Yes, it's very vibrant, this area.
It's so vibrant, it's got sweet corn in, yeah.
I mean, you've basically been doing it, you said 18 years, is it now?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And how do you think, we always ask every comedian this, how do you think comedy's changed in that time, since you first started doing it?
Oh, crumbs. I mean, I can give you a very long answer if you want. I mean, because it's changed and changed again and changed again.
Well, it always
In lots
does.
of ways. Yeah, it's really fascinating, isn't it? And it means it's a really interesting job to keep rolling with the punches of. I mean, maybe other industries are like this. I've been in it so long now, I'm unemployable as anything else. But it's like, it is fast. It does feel particularly fast moving, and that you particularly either are or aren't carried along with the tides of it. Do you know what I mean? So, some positive ways in which it's changed. It is just a fairer place to work as a woman now, and a much lovelier place to work as a woman now. And there's an incredible kinship and sisterhood amongst the women doing comedy, or I would say just other minority groups or marginalized groups. Like, it's not it did feel like it was kind of run by some scary older boys when I first started, and you had to put up with whatever they were going to throw at you attitude wise, and you had to try and impress them. And it was a really different vibe, especially the club circuit. And so that's brilliant, I think. And I think the sort of nature of comedy, like what is wanted from an audience, has changed in the good and bad ways. I'd say the good way is I quite like it that an audience don't just want you to tear them to bits. When I was coming up, it was that like naughties. They wanted aggression, they wanted testosterone, they wanted to be bullied effectively. And if you weren't doing that kind of comedy, you weren't really going to get booked for weekends. And I think you can do something more interesting now, even at, a Saturday night 20 somewhere. And I think that's really good. And I like it that now if someone was to go, if the act before you or the headliner was going to go on and be pretty viscerally homophobic or misogynistic or anything like that, or racist even. I've heard all sorts of stuff when I started. You'd be like, all right, that's just, Bobby Bob Bob being Bobby Bob Bob. And now I don't think, I'm sure there's some places where people are going especially for that. I'm sure you can still scratch that itch, and, there's certainly people touring that you can go and see specifically to hear the unsayable said. But I like it that those dick on the table bigotry isn't really accepted in mainstream, even live comedy anymore. I think that's also progress. But some more complicated areas, I think that the kind of idea of ego has changed in comedy, and that makes me sad. I think the level of self-promotion involved now is like at a point where it's really unpleasant. I find it really unpleasant. When I started, if you even shared a good review of yourself, you were a cunt. And now it is like, if you're not doing it, you're not really doing the job.
Yeah.
You're not doing the job.
Yeah.
It is an absolute part of the job now. And you're meant to be the kind of person who'd nominate yourself for a prize now. All of us kind of have had to become this kind of, it's whatever you can do within the boundaries of your own remit of integrity, constant self-trumpet blower. And I don't love that. And I think that's a shame. But I don't think it's that specific to humanity, to comedy. I think that's kind of the way society has gone a little bit. And I think social media has been a huge part of that. And I don't think you can talk about that without talking about what we need to, the energy that we need to put into ourselves as an entity online now as well. And that didn't exist when I started, I
mean, somebody said to me about 15 years ago, I won't say who it was, but they had an American accent, but they just said, hey, man, you got to promote the brand. The brand is everything. It's that kind of...
But if 15 years ago you'd have gone, I'm going to puke in his face, or her face, and now
that's exactly what I did. Well, no, he's prophetic, but the thing is as well, that's because we've all become like little capitalists, haven't we? We have sort of like promotion, and it's kind of exhausting.
It's a gig industry. It's 100% exhausting, and it's not like, I don't know, but do you know what? It's the same. I've done loads of comedy around sport and fitness because I'm really into it, and actually, it's the same for athletes. It's the same for anyone in a gig industry. Like, effectively, you now have to also become a commercially viable entity that has a shop front somewhere on social media. That means, if you look at the Red Roses, the England rugby team, the women have just won the World Cup. Extraordinary, but the women who are going to get adverts that mean that they're not paid a massive salary. It's better than it's ever been just for doing the job. So the work that they're putting in, and the ones who've been like super funny online, I mean, some of them are as funny as most comedians, and like, it's great, but like, what happens to the shy ones? Because it's not even their job. At least you can argue as a comedian, it is also part of the job that you can represent your personality, you can have charisma, you can be engaging, you're funny. So put your funniness in other places. Even rugby players have got to put their funniness and put their charm in other places now. And it's like, that's not their job. No. Can't they just be brilliant at their job?
No, it's content, isn't it? They have to put out
whether they
content.
get an agent to get media work beyond their short career is going to depend on... So it's not... My point is, I can moan until the cows come home, but it is just capitalism. And the fact that we have this enormous percentage of us now in the world who are self-employed. And with the freedom that gives us comes big old pitfalls. And the pitfalls used to just be, we're not really allowed to be ill or retire. And they were big enough pitfalls. And now they're all this kind of... Social media's given us... I'd say it's taken more than it's given us. I think
the sporting thing's interesting, especially when you bring in the women's English rugby team, because they did all this stuff following Elena Mayer, the American rugby player.
Oh yeah, she's
following
amazing,
her example, and she's amazing and very positive sort of stuff that she puts out there. But then I suddenly saw, looking at the England football team at the end of one of their last matches, and they're saying, well, they're not out there signing autographs with every member of the crowd, and people were looking down at them, saying, well, why are they just walking off the pitch after playing the match?
I know, it sets the bar in a different place, but also because they don't have to. The men have never had to do that. It comes down to this, like, oh my God, are we changing the game so that they all have to? What if, like... They're knackered. They've done their job. I don't know. I think...
Do you have to do this?
Come on.
Can you imagine, by the way, the England rugby team coach saying to some of the shy members of the team, you're not in the squad this week. You had an Instagram last week that only got like 10 likes. Yeah. You're off the team. That's the way we're going.
I've had friends go for auditions where their headshot is up with their TikTok and Instagram follower numbers underneath. For the cast, for the people to choose as part of their decision about who they're choosing. And when you don't just say your name and your height and your agent and show them the size of your face anymore. Then you say, and I've got 10,000 whatever followers on whatever. It's fucked. But like, the thing is, we're going to lose people who find that unbearable from these walks of life. Like, look at someone like Rowan Atkinson. Yeah. He's not someone who enjoys being famous. He's gone to live in the one country left where no one knows who he is. He's not interested in it. He's not on any social media. If he was starting out now, he'd be like, well, I'm not doing that then. I'll go and be a writer in obscurity. And we wouldn't have had any of the work that Rowan Atkinson's made. I mean, I think we should have our eyes open to the downsides of making every job also mean, and you're a brand, and now go and do the PR for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you must know, because you're an actor as well, the rise of the self-tape is, people don't go to in-person auditions anymore. You have to self-tape. You basically have to do their job for them. And then, you have to get all the lighting right, film it yourself, do several takes, then repackage it, and then send it to them. It's crazy. Yeah,
I've had to learn video editing. That's not something that I thought... That for social media as well, I've had to... I'm not good at it. But my cousin's like a proper... he's a proper editor. He edits like series like The Crown and feature films and stuff like that. That's but that's a degree. And then a 2-year master's at a film school. That's And we're all now going, oh, well, I'll learn that skill as well then, will I, to be able to do my actual job. We are, like, for self-tapes, like you're saying now, if you've got to, I knit together the tapes and put just a title page on and stuff like that, because otherwise, if you don't have like half decent production values, they're not going to watch it. They're going to look at it and go, I can't see all of her head. It's done. Not that one. Or whatever,
Yeah.
And that stuff doesn't come naturally to me. I find finding, like, learning technological stuff quite stressful. Anyway, I agree.
That was a very good answer. A very good answer.
But they teach these things at school now, don't they, anyway? So I think any younger person than us, that is your basic life skill, isn't it, editing?
Yeah, and I guess they have developed apps, including, just doing stuff inside Instagram that does make things. It is very easy to use.
Yeah, I mean, my first job was actually was teaching video skills to community users in Hackney to take over their story and create their own narrative. And that's what we were teaching them. And one day you will have the technology to be able to tell your own story instead of it being dictated by the mass media. And of course, now they've got that technology, and most of the time they're just taking pictures of their own penises. So it's just what you
edit that.
Oh, God. Here's a picture of some vomit on the pavement.
Well, exactly. You democratise all of the access to all these things. Doesn't mean people are going to do anything good with it.
Well, that's the other thing. I listened to... there was an episode of The Rest is Entertainment, and I occasionally enjoy that. But they mentioned about stand-up comedy. I think it was around last Edinburgh, actually, like last year, and they were saying how great it is that it's gone online and that people can have astronomical rises to success with their Instagram and TikTok fame, and that it's democratized everything and it's taken all the power away from producers and put it back in the hands of comics. I think that's the most short-sighted take from such intelligent hosts I could ever conceive of, because one, it's a different skill. I've now been with a heart full of hope to so many shows of people who are numbers-wise, followers-wise millionaires on Instagram, etc. And I've been to watch their whole show, and again and again and again, it's bad, because it is not the same skill. It's bad. It's bad, and I want to love it because I really like these people, because I've fallen in love with this character they've given me online.
Yeah.
It's a pile of shit because they haven't put the decade in that you've got to put in if you want to be a stand-up, or even, not even, that's bad, but like someone who can hold an audience for an hour with characters or whatever. It doesn't, and some of them actually, like, God, you've really tried, you've really put some craft into, like, you can tell you've worked with the director, there's a story here, but it's a different craft. And also the other thing about that comment I found so short-sighted was, stand-ups want to make work, many of us, not the one-liner ones. I mean, it's a gift for the likes of, someone like Milliken or Gary Delaney, who can just look back on hours and hours of one-liners and just get, someone to chop it up, caption it up, job done. That's his social media sorted for the next 10 years. But there are loads of us who want to tell a longer story, and there's no room for that. And what we're doing is moving to a world where comedy will need to fit into 30 to max 90 seconds. And that's bleak.
Yeah, it is bleak. I mean, lots of those crowd work things have taken over as well, where now audiences are sometimes turning up to comedy gigs and expecting that to be the whole show.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it is, isn't it? There's some... what's the name of that? The guy from Liverpool who just does crowd work. Yeah. Sometimes it is that. But then also I know people who've gone to his shows and gone, God, it was actually the whole show. Like, did expect a few written bits, and you're like, he's told you what he's going to do.
Yeah. And to be honest, he is pretty good at it.
He is also a very good storyteller.
Right.
And yet sometimes, I know this to be the case, people turn up to his show expecting 1 hour and 30 of, where do you get your trainers from? And he does long form storytelling, and they get a bit confused by it.
Oh, okay.
There's a turning point in your career. Where do you think it was?
For me, it's different for when it was for everyone else. For me, it was a show I did called The Silence of the Nans when my son was a baby. It was probably having my son was a turning point for me, and the work I've made since then. I think it really focused me, and I think it energised me, and I think I made better work after that point, because I think I realised I didn't want to be going. I had a moment where I was like, I don't want to keep going all the way to Sheffield for 50 quid. I want to spend time with this kid, and I want more from this. And I put some fire in my belly, if you know what I mean, to like sow the seeds of a different looking career. But I'd say for the world, as in for the industry, the turning point was a show called Hench in 2019 that got nominated and had really good Edinburgh. And I got different kind of work after that. But then there was a pandemic, which was interesting. But I'm aware that would have been, I'd have had an even harder time during that if I hadn't already sort of broken through a bit. So, 2019 for the world, 2017 for me.
Yeah.
Good answer. Well, I think, is it time to wrap up, Paul?
Well, we've got 2 minutes and 23 seconds left.
Ooh,
so we could wrap up. In fact, we will, because it's. I'll have to edit all this bit out and pretend that none of this ever happened. In fact, what I'll leave is just editing. I'll just leave this bit. Sometimes I wouldn't mind putting an episode which was just the end. There was no other bit to it.
Just us trying to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Long hello, long goodbye, nothing in the middle.
There's an art house film somewhere where that is the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
I mean, pervert the whole meaning of podcasts. It's just no meat.
Just greetings.
Yeah. Just greetings and that's it. So, yes, well, what we normally say is thank you for coming, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jess. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lovely chat. What a nice way to start the day.
Yeah, we're all energised now, aren't we?
Yeah, buzzing. Inspired. Look at Paul's face.
Energised? I mean, okay.
So thank you very much, Jess.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.
So, yes, that was Jessica Fostekew.
It's Fostekew.
It's Fostekew.
Yes.
There you go. Third time lucky.
Yes. And she was a fantastic guest. Really brilliant.
And see that you can pronounce her name. You can tell the people about her, what she's doing in the near future.
Well, yeah, her show, her latest show called Iconic Breath is on tour throughout the whole of the first half of next year, 2026. Look on her website for all the dates. She's just done a stint at the Soho Theatre and she's taken it out on tour. So do go along. Tickets available. I don't know whether they're available, but they are available.
Well, obviously there's going to be some tickets available. It's
yeah.
Eventually, at some point.
Yeah.
There will be tickets.
So well worth seeing, I think.
Yeah. Even a second time.
Yeah, a second time. Yeah, go 4 or 5 times. Come on.
Yeah,
go with it.
Yeah, so we say the same thing to people who listen to this show. Yeah, you can listen to this show more than once. You know, you can listen to it or watch it.
People have
4 or 5 times. I do.
So, I mean, please subscribe to our show. That's what we'd like to say, isn't it?
Yes, subscribe, like, share. All these things are good.
Share.
For algorithms, which is the most important person in our lives, as we were discussing with Jessica, or Jess, as I like to call her. Do you think that now when they remake, films, they used to have those films, those adventure films that were set in the jungle, and there's rather patronising sort of racist things where people be like worshipping false gods. In the future, it'll just be the algorithm. Yes, I think if it could be put into some sort of form, statue would be nice, I suppose.
Yeah.
Effigy. And all praise the algorithm.
Actually, no. If you criticise the algorithm, that gets more That gets more views. So
Yes,
fuck you, algorithm.
is
Fuck it.
angry because you haven't you've not been regular with your uploads.
Do it at the
sorry,
same
algorithm.
time every day. That's right.
I told you, every 2 weeks. Now it's been 3 weeks. I will punish you. I'm sorry, Al.
I am very angry with you. Yeah, I will punish you. I will take your viewers away.
Not show you to new viewers that you need to grow.
People would sacrifice to the algorithm. They sacrifice their self-respect,
Yeah.
their sense of shame. All those sort of things. Feed me. Be like that plant
Yes.
out of feed me.
Oh God, Little Shop of Horrors.
Thank you. That was it. Yeah.
Shop.
Who did the voice to the plants? I can't remember.
Don't know. Don't care.
Damn it! I'm not going to ask Alexa. No,
No, don't.
we're not talking. We're not talking. So, not after that episode.
Oh, she's still got the hump, has she?
Yeah, still got the hump. So yes, please feed the algorithm. Do it. Yeah, because
Otherwise, before it tells us to do more desperate things to please it.
Yeah. For the algorithm is a wrathful and vengeful god.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it doesn't forget.
It certainly doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's why it must come up with all those photographs from 20 years ago on your Facebook page. It goes, here, a reminder.
I remind you of when you were popular. Try sharing this again. It works.
You
before.
can't.
See, my algorithm's got quite a boring voice. Yours is more sort of...
Mine's more sinister.
Yeah, where mine is a bit dull, boring.
Feed me. Anyway, so please do.
Yeah. Okay, we'll say goodbye to the audience.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
They said you should have been here last week. I swear you should have been here last week.